Hey guys, Xaryu here, and today I want to share some more end of season rank 1 push games with you guys. This is one of the most difficult games we had, fighting a Resto Shaman, a Frost Death Knight, and a Windwalker. Here is my spec just quickly. I am staying with Trinket, Mind Quickness, Burning Determination is the swap here. So I normally play Netherwind Armor or Prismatic Cloak, but I needed to peel a lot. I needed to spam Polymorph a lot, and because of that, I did choose to go Burning Determination instead. So if I did get interrupted, more than once, I could continue to peel with those Polymorphs. Reason being is the Windwalker DK that we fought in the past would train down our Holy Priest, and that's one kind of weakness of a Holy Priest, guys, that if you're spamming, if they're just running into your Holy Priest and you're spamming Polymorphs and you kind of get interrupted, you can't really peel that well, and the Holy Priest just going to get 100 to 0 ran down. That's kind of the weakness. So I'm going Burning Determination to kind of counteract that a little bit, and then Temp Shield, Torment the Weak, and Mass Invis, and all my talents are normal as well. Amplification, Shimmer, and Canter's Flow, Resonance, Chrono Shift, Erosion, and Arcane Orb. Almost never change anything there. But as this game gets started, guys, these are the things I want you guys to keep in mind. That sometimes when they're just over pressuring your priest, you want to just triple sheep one, triple clone the other, and then triple clone the guy that was just sheep, and then triple sheep the guy that was just cloned right off the bat here, guys. I'm starting with a mass invisibility and a full sheep onto the shaman, a full clone onto the Windwalker, and a full stun onto the Death Knight. That's triple CC all at the same time, and this really allows us to get a lot of pressure moving right off the bat into this game. Get a run over to the pillar just in time to get that resheep and get one more sheep onto the shaman, and the Death Knight doesn't take too much damage here. He did have Earth Shield, and we do get his trinket as well. The full root beam coming out onto the shaman now. The AMC does come out from the Death Knight, and it looks like he's going to be fine. But guys, we did get the Windwalker's trinket, we did get the Death Knight's trinket, so we are going to be able to set up kills a little bit more effectively the next time around that we get CC onto their Resto Shaman. I do land that full sheep right there, but I do get stunned with Fist of Fury in between, and the monk is kind of chasing me down a little bit. And guys, a lot of people will ask me, how I deal with double melee, how I deal with getting trained, and as Arcane, guys, it's really not an issue, and the reason I don't think it's an issue is because you just have so many blinks. Melee shouldn't be able to catch you in the first place. You should be able to out-kite them and outlast them. So yeah, kite them and make them not go you. But anyway, I do get the lockout here onto the Resto Shaman during his cast, and we do get a full stun onto the Death Knight with no trinket. He has one stack of Earth Shield left. That Earth Shield stack does refresh. Polito's getting very low. Earthen Shield Totem comes down. Blood Elf Silence and the Frost Nova. DK is still getting low. I accidentally put in an Arcane Barrage into the Earthen Shield. Don't do that. Not very effective. Continuing the pressure, trying to get another Polymorph, do get interrupted in my sheep attempt. Grounding Totem comes down, Mass Invisibility comes down, spamming out those Polymorphs, trying my best to get a full Polymorph onto the healer. Not sure if I'm going to be able to land it, and I do. So full Polymorph onto the healer, and once again, the stun comes out on the Death Knight. So if you guys haven't guessed by now, that's what our setup's looking like. Full sheep onto the healer, stun onto the kill target, which is usually the Death Knight, pumping a bunch of damage into him, and then, kind of rinse and repeating from there. Also, making sure to sheep and clone the Windwalker and the Death Knight if my Boomkin needs it or if my Priest needs it. So that's kind of the strategy we're doing, and that's it. Like, you guys, the reason I say anyone could get really high rated or anyone could get rank 1 or Gladiator with no practice is, guys, this isn't that complicated. This isn't that hard. I'm sheeping when I need to sheep. I'm doing damage when I need to do damage. And I'm sheeping the shaman when I have mass invisibility, when I have, blink belt sheep, when I have some type of, way for him to not move away. There's my full sheep onto the shaman. I think he could have kicked that, but I was expecting a kick, but he didn't kick. He probably expected me to fake, and I didn't fake, so that was a little awkward there, but did get that full sheep onto the shaman, triple sheep onto the shaman. We had the stun onto the Death Knight once again, getting more damage out, and now they're doing a swap on my priest. I mass invis to keep my priest nice and safe. I sheep the Windwalker. Clones are coming in on the Death Knight. The grounding totem comes to stop our peels, and then we're going for triple sheeps onto the Windwalker here, and now I'm sheeping the Death Knight, just like we talked about, guys. We got the trinket from the Death Knight there, the trinket from the Windwalker there, and this game is continuing on. But look how stabilized we are. My priest is doing a-okay. The full root beam comes out onto the shaman. Now the cyclone onto the Windwalker. Death Knight's taking some damage now. Stun comes out onto me. AMC comes out onto the DK now, so we're getting these defensive cooldowns. We're kind of like rotating through them. Now here, I'm struggling to get a sheep onto the Shaman. He's doing a good job of line of sighting. Doesn't look like I'm going to be able to get any CC for the time being. Now, we can Root Beam, which is instant cast CC, and we can also kick the Shaman with Counterspell. So we don't actually need to land those sheeps on cooldown. If I get a sheep, it's great. So there's the full sheep. It comes out. We get the Sun on the Death Knight. Once again, our copy-paste setup happening over and over. And instead of resheeping onto the Shaman there, I decide to go for a sheep onto the DPS. I didn't quite get it, though. I did get stopped on a sheep attempt, and I did land the sheep there. Priest raid himself back to full HP and looks like he's going to be okay. Something to note, guys, if you're going for a sheep and you get kicked, don't be sad. Think about it as, I got a kick out of the way for my Boomkin, or I got a kick out of the way for my Holy Priest. Those are two key advantages of playing triple caster. If you're casting and get kicked, great. Now there's one less kick for your teammates, right? So I'm peeling, and if I get stopped or I get interrupted, that's okay. That's okay, because we got one of their stops out of the way. Go for a sheep onto the Death Knight there, out of that mass invis, or the greater invis? No, the mass invis. Sheeping Death Knight a couple times. Windwalker is still in that cyclone. Going for a sheep onto the healer. He does ground and shear. Now that the grounding and shear is over, I do manage to get that full sheep. Blink back around, blink forward, and now we're trying to get some more damage out onto the Death Knight. The sheep is expiring, and this is why this matchup is so hard, guys, because despite playing well defensively and despite getting a lot of CC, it's really difficult to kill. But look at this. We had the sheep into the full root beam. So full sheep, and as soon as the Shaman peaks, we get the full root beam onto the Hex, so he's locked out. The Death Knight has no trinket. I'm not sure if he has Icebound Fortitude, but he does get stunned there. Shaman is coming in for Link, and he doesn't quite get it, and the Death Knight goes down. So this was like a very difficult game. As you see, if they're rotating their defensive cooldowns, they can almost indefinitely live. If we're rotating our defensive cooldowns, we can almost indefinitely live, and it really comes down to how many sheeps am I getting onto the Shaman, and how many good burst windows are we really getting out onto the Death Knight when we're getting those full sheeps onto the Shaman. As you can see here, guys, this is the damage breakdown. Seeing if I had an upgrade there, doesn't look like it, but this was the damage breakdown. We're over 3k MMR now, which is fantastic. Alright, boys, and as we're jumping into another game, I am playing Prismatic Cloak this time. Instead of Burning Determination to blink things that I need to negate damage on, like Full Moon, it would be a great example. And I'm starting off in stealth right here, trying to get some type of CC onto maybe the Pally and open the Moonkin, or we could just do a big opener on the Pally. Kind of depends if we find anybody. This Invis is probably not the greatest. Reason being, they have double stealth on their team. They're going to basically just sit in stealth. So I pretty much essentially wasted the Invis cooldown, which is not a good thing. So if you're up against double or triple stealth, there's no reason to go invis unless you're banking on the fact that you find someone. But if you don't find someone, it's just a huge waste. Now, my Boomkin did get combat, and I slow-falled him to get the combat from him. This is very, very, very powerful, guys. If I didn't slow-fall him, I would get sapped. But since he's in combat and I slow-falled him, I'm in combat, I can't get sapped. Go for the Trinket Temp Shield here. Actually, I didn't Temp Shield. I just Trinketed. Looks like I'm going to be okay. Trinketed, Tempt now. Throughout that mass invisibility, looks like I'm going to be okay. So the Rogue Trinkets, definitely something to keep in mind. Since the Rogue Trinketed, we can throw him into a full stun with a Lockout, a Sheev, a Root Beam, anything onto the Paladin, and we should be okay. Now we're getting a ton of damage out onto the Boomkin. He's getting very low with the Root Beam onto the Pally. Pally gets out of that Root Beam somehow and does a sacrifice, throws a sacrifice over onto the Boomkin. We do get skin and sacrifice. Keep in mind the Rogue still has no trinket, so if the Rogue comes out, that's gonna be our target of choice. He does come out, we throw a big stun onto him, putting a bunch of damage into him, get a re-stun onto him, but it looks like that Pally gets the heal, tops back off the Rogue, but a ton of damage still coming out. And this is really the strength of the comp, guys. We are playing back, and they're stuck on the pillar, and every time they come off the pillar, we're just destroying them with a ton of Arcane Mage and Boomkin damage. That's the thing, guys. They can never really get off of the pillar. Paladin goes into that full cycle, and Full Moon comes out onto me. I get grip, beautiful grip there, keeping me nice and safe. And now they're kind of scared onto the pillar. Now Paladin has no trinket either. So Paladin could definitely be a kill option if we get the stun onto him, or if we just get a nice lockout onto him. But look at this. The Rogue gets re-stunned. Every time they're coming off the pillar, they're getting absolutely annihilated. My Boomkin's going to go one way. I should be going on the other side of the pillar, kind of keep them trapped, so no matter where they go, they're not in a very good position. Rogue does have Cold Blood up. Looks like he's about to go for a big burst window onto me. Kidney Bomb onto me, but the Boomkin is Cyclone. He does Trinket the Cyclone, but since it was a little late, I think I will be okay. I still have all of my defensive cooldowns. Ice Block. I have greater invisibility if I need. Now, this Paladin's looking pretty juicy, but the Rogue does get stunned up, so the Rogue is going to be the target of choice right now. Throw out that mass invisibility, trying to get the Polymorph. Do get step kicked by the Rogue. Nice step kick by him, because he had to retarget me pretty much immediately. But now look at this, guys. They are on the run again. They all have no trinkets. Rogue has a trinket in about 5 seconds, but look at the Paladin, Paladin, Full Moon coming out on the Super Flute. Paladin is rotting just a little bit. Well, he did top himself off right now, but I really want to keep an eye out onto that Paladin for the swap because he doesn't have a trinket for 42 seconds. The War Stomp comes out into the full clone with that full chastise onto the Rogue. He does survive and does vanish off of it. The Boomkin Druid does have skin available, I do believe, but he has no trinket, so that is another kill option as well if we get the full sheep onto the Pally and we get the full stone onto the Druid. But once again, guys, they're playing so defensive because we're forcing them to, and this is when we've kind of already won the game. Once they get off of the pillars, when it gets a little scary. Like right now is when they're doing their go. This is scary time. I throw out that mass invisibility before the cheap shot, and since I pre-invis that, I should be okay. A Rogue does use his trinket there earlier. It was either on the sheep or the clone, or maybe the stun actually, and so he doesn't have his trinket once again. Paladin going into that full root beam, and really anything could be a kill option at this point. Pally's dipping below half mana now, but my Priest is getting low on mana as well. My Priest could probably easily find a drink out here though if he wants. Going for some more damage, getting the Paladin nice and low, and this is very scary. I'm spam sheeping the Rogue immediately on the swap to my Priest, because a swap to the Priest is definitely one way these guys could win the game. So, you know, I've already kind of explained our kill window. Their kill window is getting a root beam with a full kidney shot, maybe a kidney shot and a bomb, or some type of cross EC, a big kidney shot, incarnation from the Druid, and a big one shot. That's kind of how they're going to win the game. Now, guys, take a look at this. Paladin has no trinket. Okay, he gets stunned up. He's taking a ton of damage. Bubble comes off. The Mass Dispel comes out onto the bubble, and I lock him. I'm going to actually have to replay that one. So the bubble comes out, Mass Dispel, and he's casting, and I throw a lock at him at 99%. Everything's getting cleaved so hard. Pally's getting so low. Have the Arcane Missiles channeled on him through the pillar, and he does go down. So that was a nice game, and this was one of our games pushing up for rank 1, or two of our games pushing up for rank 1, so I hope you guys enjoyed that. Guys, I hope you enjoyed these games pushing up to rank 1. If you did, make sure to leave a thumbs up on the video so I know you liked it. If you didn't like these videos, make sure to thumbs it down so I know you didn't like it. And talk to me in the comments about what type of stuff you guys want to see next. I'm definitely reading all of the comments, and don't forget to subscribe. I'll see you guys next time. Peace!